see how you guys go for it. I'm gonna watch them do stuff. We're gonna tell them to do stuff. But for anybody that wasn't catching on, so if, we're talking about, if I had to say, because they told me before we're doing this video, I had to say, I'm not supposed to say that. Edit that out. All right, it's already gone. Who am I talking to at this point? So honestly, we'll cover a couple of my favorite movements today, and hopefully make it applicable if you guys are like in a different gym and obviously don't have this exact equipment. This is actually a nice one to start with. So how we picked this one is I told Brett I would like to start with a single arm pull down. And again, especially if you're bigger, like basically the broad, you don't even have to obviously be Brett's size, but if you have broad clavicles, single arm tends to work a little bit better. It can be a little bit more joint friendly, but helps people like hit the lats. Like lats can be a little bit trickier because there's a lot of stuff that moves your shoulder. So if I had to say what's a favorite pull down, it's pretty much anything single arm. So if you've got this hammer strength, that's a great place to start. We also say this one's awesome because Dorian, if you don't know that reference, then go watch Blood and Guts. You shouldn't be watching this video. Stop watching this video right now, go watch Blood and Guts, and then come back and pick up right here. So Dorian does famous for doing pull downs on this, but it's a good piece for just doing basically single arm. So you can do this machine, different machine, cables, whatever, all good options. And again, I like single arm because it lines up very, very well. So I'm gonna watch them do some stuff, but I would have to say if I was gonna pick one, just any single arm pull down, great place to start for most people, where if you grab just fixed handles, anything, sometimes you're a little bit of delivery of the machine, it might not quite hit the target as well. And something I didn't coach Brett at all on this, he already did himself, so I didn't say anything. But so even though I'm telling him kind of a good spot to finish, and I want him to feel, and you know, anytime you're going through a range of motion, make sure you're using your muscles. So again, if he's pulling down at the end, you know, you just don't want to fly through there. You want to make sure you can track. But if I had to say the most important part of this machine or the range of motion is that stretch. So he was already just doing a little pause there. So again, if you guys are watching at home, where most people mess up doing this is they're just going to bounce out of that range. So if there's an opportunity where, yeah, the whole range of motion is important, but the stretch that you get here, you're not going to get that on a row, right? So a row doesn't fully stretch your lat. You have to bring your arm up here somewhere. So when you go up there, again, make sure you're using your lat. Don't bounce. If there was some place I'd almost say it's probably good for almost everyone to just pause for a second, make sure it's lat, not momentum, and make sure you're getting the most benefit of this exercise, because you're going to get this position in a ton of spots. Every single row is going to get somewhere around here, but not every exercise is going to get that stretch. So something else I want you guys to see that Brett does perfect is, see where his shoulder joint is? Everything stayed perfectly lined up. So again, from this plane of motion, his shoulder joint, his elbow, his hand are all in the same plane. Huge mistake people do is they let their elbow flare. So if you come at any point in time, you let that elbow flare out a lot, I would argue you could use some more kind of upper back stuff, not as much lat. So anytime you're doing a single arm pull down, keep everything all lined up. So where the shoulder joint is, the elbow, the hand, everything all stays in the same plane.
Set it off, I got a bag, let's bet it all. I'm going bad shit, let me ball. I'm going bad shit, let me ball. Yeah, I'm on call, I'm gonna bag this at the wall. I'm on my captain in the fall. Yeah. I'm on my captain in the fall. It's going down, down, it's going down. I need a knocker, well, I need a crown. All
right, guys, moving on to one of my second favorite back movements. Basically, if I was gonna pick only 3 movements to do, which ones would I pick? That one's gonna pretty much cover most of the lats range of motion. The single arm pull down we did, this is pretty much gonna cover your entire upper back. So if I was gonna say, what is my favorite for upper back? Is going to be some sort of chest-supported T-bar row. So if you have a T-bar, great, but almost any chest-supported row, you can accomplish the goal as long as you can get a similar grip. People get a little bit too fixated. Someone's going to say, I don't have this exact machine. If you have something you can put your chest on and you have something you can take a similar width grip on, it's going to have almost the exact same effect on your body. So it could be chest-supported T-bar row, chest-supported dumbbell row. So if you don't have this, you could go on an incline bench. See this angle? You can produce this with an incline bench. Grab a pair of dumbbells, do pretty much the exact same thing. So again, between the first one, if you do that, if you ask them how their lats feel after that pull down, you can get huge lats just doing one movement. You can get a huge upper back just doing one movement. I'm not saying only do 1, 2, 3 movements, but I like the notion of efficiency. So this is going to pretty much train everything when I say upper back from shoulder to shoulder. So there's going to be rear delts involved, there's going to be traps involved, there's going to be rhomboids involved. pretty much your entire upper back musculature. But yeah, you're going to get some lats work in as well too. So keep it like change the angle almost instead of, somewhere between a pure row and kind of like a high row type thing. I'm gonna have you kind of have that same feeling. It's not gonna be down like we did with the pull down, but actually have you feel like more like kind of like smush your tricep into your lat as the end. So again, because we already got all the way back here for upper back, I'm not concerned how far back you can go. I'm literally concerned about you pulling from here, tucking right in at your side. And like a cool cue on this one is actually think the whole time about driving your upper arm down from the start, and that'll keep it a lot more lat, a lot less upper back. And again, until you finish with that tricep right into your lat. So I'll help you get them up because it's a little bit tough to break up. So the goal is to have it heavier in the start position. But from here, drive everything down, pull right in at the side. So that should be about the end right there.
Chase you down, not a check. If it's not a check, don't hit my line with that. Don't hit my line with that mess. I need my respect. Fear no man, I got 3 on me like a staff. Set it off, making new waves like cannonball. They come around like tetherball. My wins, big wins like animal. Pass, beat a rock. I make a move and I run it up. In my way, then I let it up. So get out my way, be not with us. Yeah. I used to pray for times like this. Close my eyes and I just win. Now I'm shining lights on my wrist.
Come on. Good, again. Yep, one more like that. Go ahead. Smooth pace, drive that arm down. Just visualize that lat stretch.
Excited for this drop set?
No, I'm not. Bro, I wish I went first. I hate this shit.
Again, 3 different movements that are 3 great movements for back. You want to train your entire back. Go single arm pull down. That's going to be pretty much entirely lat, especially the lengthened position. For upper back, we do the chest supported row, so some form of chest supported row. And then I say it's worth having another row where the goal is a little bit more lats. And so again, you can't completely isolate. So I'm not saying there weren't any lats in the first one. I'm not saying there aren't any upper back here. But really big difference between the first two. So have one row, like we already did more for upper back, and another one a little bit more for lats. And so the big difference is I know a lot of people don't have this machine, but setting something up a little bit more where your arm path is closer at your side is one of the best ways to make it more lats. And again, keep the focus on the upper arm, finishing in that same spot pretty much that we did for the pull downs. So again, if we came way back here, that finish would be much more rear delts. Whereas if we're keeping it kind of everything right at shoulder width, and as we're coming into the finish, you're kind of driving your upper arm into your side, visualizing kind of that elbow trying to kind of wrap around and touch here. That's a great cue to at least keep it more lats. So again, between those 3 movements, that's pretty much your entire upper back being trained. Lats through the full range of motion. Upper back, again, isolated a little bit more over there and still a little bit more upper back stimulus here. So if you're looking for 3 great movements for back, good place to start.
Tastes like Canada.
What, maple syrup?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a whole list. That was already thinking. I got maple syrup, I got bacon. Don't show it now. Wait till I'm done. We'll get a whole.
This is a BTS.
We'll have like 20 of them.